Ladies and gentlemen, we've got something interesting to talk about. Of course, crypto related. First off, people ask me all the time, Dusty, are we in a crypto bull market? And the simplest answer I can give you is motherfreaking yes. There's no question in my mind that right now we are in a crypto bull market. And that's why I keep telling you guys how to properly prepare to make these millions of dollars. And some laugh. They say, Dusty, you're an idiot. You talk garbage. And all I'll say is, let's look back on this in a couple of months from now because all the signs are set. But just for argumentation's sake, all right? Let's back up our thesis here. What do we consider a bull market? I'd say a sustained period of higher highs and higher lows. So what is the chart saying? All right, what are we looking like right now? Well, if you take a look at Bitcoin, Bitcoin has been making higher highs and higher lows for an entire year straight. That basically means at any point here throughout the last year, if you bought, you'd be up right now. A pretty significant bunch at that as well. The price has gone from about 17,000 at the start of the year to about 40,000 right now. So it's more than doubled in this time period. And don't even get me started on the idea that Bitcoin right now is picking up the dominance, that we got the Bitcoin halving in about 5 months, I'd say, from now, actually. The exact date is unknown, but let's just take April 2024 as a ballpark. And the reason it's not set, by the way, is because it's a specific block, but the timing on that can change. You can see right here, since the halving happens every 210,000 blocks. It'll happen once the block height reaches 840,000. Point being, however, that every single time it basically follows the same route where the price just goes up a lot as the scarcity effect kicks in. This is a chart of the Bitcoin price, and you can see that for the last year, things have been doing good. And in hindsight, if we're going to analyze it, Bitcoin went about 80% down from its all-time high. And right now, it's just in that bull market territory, is making its way towards the top, where some slight deviations are possible, as we saw right here back in 2019. We had an 80% drop, then we had gains worth about 460% before actually having a massive crash. You might say, well, this was because of the Rona, you know? So March 2020, the good old time. This time it won't happen like that again. All I'll say is we've gone down the 80% that we go down every single time. We're on that upward trajectory, and there might be some hiccups along the way, for sure. But every single time, you can see after the halving cycle starts, or I should say after the halving starts, you can just see the crazy gains that ensue pretty quickly afterwards. And I still believe that that's going to happen this time yet again. And the reason I tells you that is because I just notice the questions all the time. People come up to me with all this fear and they ask, Dusty, does this mean there won't be a bull market? Oh, is this gonna do this, that? Every single article you see along those lines is meant to either make you fearful, to either make you sell, or somebody trying to get clicks. It doesn't matter. If you're fearful in crypto right now, I'd say you're having the wrong attitude. But this article specifically, I'll tackle it quickly. BlackRock says USDT and USDC stablecoins pose risks to Bitcoin. It's true. Stablecoins are a vulnerability to cryptocurrencies because at the end of the day, if you're wondering what they are and why they exist, USDT or USDC is just a dollar. People ask then, so why not just have a normal dollar? Well, first of all, the regulatory side is pretty difficult to get a dollar on all these exchanges, all these platforms. And second of all, a dollar does not live on Ethereum. A dollar does not live on any platform or Solana or Cardano. It does not live there. A dollar is something that can be represented. In this case here, these organizations, that's what the T or the C stands for. Tether, or in this case here, Circle. They basically take dollars in the real world, they hold in their reserves in some way, shape, or form, and they create a token on a platform like Ethereum, Tron, Cardano, you name it, that represents the value of a dollar so that you can use it in DeFi, so you can use it in the crypto space. But that also means that now we have counterparty risk. So we have we're double messed up. First of all, if the dollar does really bad, again, every single crypto here, if you take a look at markets, for example, a lot of the volume, a lot of the denomination, a lot of the, I guess, backing of what the price is based on the USDT pairs. So if these USDT pairs have some sort of trouble, you can see right here in terms of volume, just how large this USDT pair is. That could definitely cause a little bit of a ruckus. But on the opposite side, I mean, the dollar is not certain. We can definitely have some trouble with the dollar. But now we've also got specifically the Tether part of this that could mess us up. Because if Tether does something shady and it's not actually a dollar, for example, as there have been many fears in the past, similarly with USDC from Circle, as we've seen with some algorithmic stablecoins like UST in the past. If something happens to the stablecoin, again, everything surrounding Bitcoin, everything in the crypto space doesn't do so well, because that's primarily what people trade. That's primarily how transactions on Ethereum are done. A lot of people, they transact in ETH or in USDT that lives on Ethereum. So if that specific pair doesn't do well, the Ethereum to USDT conversion now, for example, all that volume falls flat. They go to USDC, for example, but because there's now a crazy arbitrage, just the entire crypto market just does weird things. So yes, it's the truth. Even though your coins like Bitcoin, XRP, Ethereum, in theory, don't have that much inherent risk from the platform perspective of doing bad because of stablecoins. I mean, what could happen, right? The market and price action could be so strange, so irrational, we should call it, that everything indeed could face some crazy risks. Now, a counter argument to this is the backend of USDC. If you take a look at Circle and the backend that they've got, I'd say they are pretty solid. And USDT is also now so large that it doesn't really make sense for them to mess up anymore. But it seems that the SEC and others are seeing this whole stablecoin debacle as a risk factor to a Bitcoin ETF, which I find interesting. Why futures ETFs are fine, but spot, you have to think of all these issues now. And the reason for that is because even though this trust, the Bitcoin trust, for example, would not be open to investing in USDT, or USDC doesn't make sense, it wouldn't have stablecoins. It does pose risks from I guess these counterparties. So in this case, Tether or Circle, which is something they state somewhere down below here, I believe. While the trust does not invest in stablecoins, it may nonetheless be exposed to the risks that stablecoins pose for the Bitcoin market and other digital asset markets, BlackRock said. Thereafter, the company explains what a stablecoin is and that its market value may fluctuate. And again, in the past, stablecoin prices have impacted the price of Bitcoin, and so it's impossible to know all the risks about it, which is an interesting take, and I did want to bring it up. Honestly, I'm not too afraid of stablecoins messing up Bitcoin, because the backend as time grows will get better and better and better. And eventually insurances and things like that will get better too, because this is going to be the new standard, right? Crypto is the thing. But for right now, I understand their concern, let's call it. And I will add this also. CBDCs can replace cash. We talked about it partially in the previous video, but you've got to understand this cash system that we know right now is going to be replaced. It's just a question of exactly what will it be replaced by. I mean, everybody's got a different opinion on what exactly should be replaced by. Anyway, a lot of people want it to be CBDCs, and it's an interesting question as to what we want it to be. But I'd say if it were to be up to guys like the SEC, they'd keep it all a question. If you do not know, we often joke about the SEC being an entity that only looks out for political ambitions and is not really trying to save crypto, not really trying to find the bad actors, but just trying to do whatever looks best on paper. Now, ARK Invest CEO Cathie Wood also links Bitcoin ETF delays that we've seen quite recently. And again, there's another deadline for the Bitcoin ETF tomorrow, I believe, November 17th. That's because already it's after 12, so it's already the 16th here. Anyway, that delay to the SEC's chair's political ambitions. It's an interesting note, and it does make you wonder exactly just how much manipulation there is in the crypto space. That has two sides. On the one hand, I mean, I'd say it has three sides. On the one hand, you might ask, just how much are these stablecoin games messing with our crypto prices? You know, the minting and all the movements with these stablecoins. How much does it affect it? Point number two is how much do these big institutions play the game, in a sense of how much really do they know where the prices are going, as it's such a small industry for such huge players. And then third of all, how much of a game is it for guys like the SEC? Really, and again, I am putting it up there. Does Gary Gensler really have some sort of devilish type of mind, or is he foolish? I can't think so, because this man, how much is Gary Gensler worth? 20 million, 200 million? I think he's north of the $100 million mark. Googling somebody's net worth has almost no purpose, but I thought maybe for a politician, sometimes these numbers are shared a little bit more. It says here 41 million, 115 mil, 100 million, 41, 119. Okay, they're all recycling each other. But even the Wall Street Journal here says, okay, Gary Gensler's net worth between 41 million and 119. So that's what Bloomberg Law. Wall Street Journal. Okay, so a lot of articles are stating that. Anyway, so money doesn't mean smart. I just mean he's not so financially illiterate or anything like that. That's what's causing all these crazy actions. No, it's very much deliberate. It's got a plan, and there's definitely some strings attached here. But we wonder sometimes, what exactly is it? Is he just really kicking off on this? Is it really political? Because at some point, this is another important thing to add. He's got the money. He doesn't probably, because like bribes and stuff like that, they can't bribe him with that much more that's going to change his life a lot. So, and he's on the older side. He's not old. I'm just saying he's on the older side. So perhaps right now, all he's thinking of is legacy. What can he put on the map that's going to put his face on a lot of those walls forever so that people remember his name, remember his tenure. But then on the opposite side, I'm thinking, why would he care so much? Because he already made a name for himself over the time. And a lot of people hate him for this. So why not go out in the best way, shape, or form possible? But I guess as an SEC member, chairman specifically, you want to have as many cases as possible to fill your war chest as much as possible, instead of being as good as possible to protect investors. I think those two things are very much on different sides. On the one hand, your main objective could be protect you as investors. On the opposite side, it would be fill up the war chest, win as many cases as possible, because at the end of the day, on the one, you try to make as many laws go through as possible to protect people. And you go after as many potential frauds and fraudsters. On the other, you're going after as many people as you possibly can, regardless of whether or not they're fraudsters. And you try to get no laws done so you can sue more people. Because if people don't know, they can always be sued. All right? If you don't know what you're doing, at least nobody knows, you can always get a lawsuit in. Yeah, I'm thinking about it. That's the smartest thing ever. Anyway, little side note. Somebody sent me a picture the other day that they're watching my channel on a TV. You know how weird that is? I've been making videos on YouTube for like a decade or whatever. Over a decade. Wow, that's crazy. I've been making them for a long time. But to see people watching you on a television, that is still something really odd. So all I'll say about that is I hope you find my videos useful. I hope you learn something new. I learn something new every single day. And I try to share whatever I'm facing, learning, thinking about, because we've done extremely well in investing. And I think a lot of it is just not that hard if you've got the right people to talk to and the right person to point you in the right direction. I'm no genie, so I won't know the price of tomorrow, but we try to make the best of it. And at the end of the day, we don't need excellency. We just need to do motherfrickin' well. We just need to do damn well, and I think we are. Won't be perfect, that I'll tell you, but I think we're gonna beat a lot of the competition and do extremely well. But yeah, see you guys later in another crypto video. Hopefully later today or tomorrow. Let's see.